Hello, I'm Mandy and this is my channel Make It Sew, and today is my sewing chat makes and plans video, which again is a bit later than normal. I've actually had a miss a week because of work and commitments at home, which I'll tell you all about in what I've been up to. So I think I've recovered from that awful virus I had. I have an occasional little cough, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was. So thank you to everybody that wished me well, and thank you to everybody who commented on my last video where I showed you everything that was pants. So if you're new here, welcome, and if you've watched me for a while, welcome back. So firstly, I have been working quite a lot in the last week and a half. So there hasn't been as much sewing done in the last few days because I worked all weekend in this glorious heat. I'm going to say it's glorious because we shouldn't complain. It's not very often we have a heat wave in the UK, as you'll know, but I was very fortunate that working in a hospital, I was in one of the very few places that has air conditioning. So I was so grateful for that because I think I would have melted otherwise. So I've done work, and I also was finally able to go to my charity sewing group, not last Thursday, the Thursday before, and it was really good to see everybody. And then on the Friday I got to Walpole Sewing Group, and all I can say is sewing community is the best. I'll talk more about why on my Sew Fruity vlog next week, but they really helped me out of a pickle. So I was so grateful for them all. And I got some goodies while I was there, which I'll show you in a bit. So other than that, I've been busy sewing my Sew Fruity makes, which again I will show you next week when it's all been revealed on Instagram. And I actually got to spend a lovely day with my daughter when she was getting ready for the prom. I had a hairdresser come round that we have, and she done her hair. She looked gorgeous. And it was her last day at high school, so she's finished all her GCSE exams and she can relax for a little while now because she's got all the time off now till September. So we're getting to spend a bit more time together, which is really nice. And other than that, just work. So I have managed to make one item this week, and I have managed to do some sewing for a colleague at work. And what it was, we've got a lovely, he's called a nursing associate where I work, and he's now going to be doing an open university top-up course, and they supply them with their uniform, which is a white tunic, and they give them the patches to put onto the uniform. But of course they're quite thick patches, they overlock all the edges and leave lots of loops on them. And he said to me, would you mind sewing them on? And I said, I don't mind doing them, and he did say he'd pay me. I didn't expect anything from him. I said it's fine, but he insisted. And the money he gave me actually then gave me an excuse to make some sewing purchases. So I did that. And I will put a quick picture up here. It doesn't identify where he works or anything, so I can do this just to show you. What I did in the end was I used some of the zipper tape you get. If you call it zipper tape, I never remember. It's like quilting tape where you can put your zips on with sticky tape that's double-sided. And I used that behind the patch just to catch those overlocking threads, because I thought if I cut them they might unravel. And then I just used a running stitch on my sewing machine and put them on level with the pockets. So he was really chuffed with that, and I was pleased with it. Seemed a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. So I do get a bit panicky if someone says to me, can you do this? And normally if it's alterations I will say no, because I'm good at putting things together, but if I haven't made it I won't have a clue how someone put it together, and I just think if I ruined it I'd feel really bad. So I normally say no, but I was quite happy to have a go, and I'm pleased I did. So that was one thing I did. And then the other thing I did was, and you'll find out why I made these in a little while, I had some remnant left over of a viscose challis that I'd made a infinity tie dress with last summer, and I really wanted to make myself another pair of shorts because unfortunately some of the shorts I've got just don't fit me at the moment, and this came from Pound Fabrics. So I looked at all my patterns and looked at all my fabric and found this one, and I just had enough to do a pair of shorts, and it's these. So I will probably have to show photos because it's not going to be very easy to show you in the camera, but these are a pair of pattern Emporium Getaway shorts, and I'll put a picture up here of the actual line drawings. I've made these before last year when I went to Florida out of a cotton, and I wanted something a little bit cooler. So you actually have several styles, and that's what I like about this pattern. They're pull-on shorts, you don't have any fastenings as such, and you have different lengths. So you have short, medium and long, and you also have a low rise or a mid rise, and I made these one in a mid rise in a size 18. But then after the lengths you also have 3 different styles of waistbands. So you have one that's top stitched, one that's enclosed and one that's covered, and I was going to go for the covered one because it just meant the elastic was loose inside and you just sewed it in like you do a lot of waistbands. And then there's lots of extra options you can do as well. You can do, they suggest a mock drawstring, a lace trim or cuffs. Now I didn't have enough fabric to do cuffs, so I had to leave them out, but I did have enough fabric to do both front and back pockets and also some side leg tabs, and I can show you on the actual shorts. I couldn't find any other buttons and they would have been lost in this busy pattern, so I found some little red love heart buttons and I thought they looked quite sweet on there, and there's your little side leg tab. So I'm really pleased with them, and I will put a picture of me wearing them in here because after that they are going to be packed and all will be revealed in a bit. So the other thing what I liked about these is you've got other hacks you can do to them, and who doesn't like a pattern hack? So as well as the trims and the cuffs, they suggest you can add a yoga style waistband, and there's also mashes you can use with their patterns, so you can add hidden pockets and they tell you the pattern that they actually sell them in. You've got side pockets again with a pattern suggestion. They've got, I'll try to read it all for you, an exposed elastic waistband and super fast PJs, and who doesn't like a pair of short pyjamas? Really enjoyed this make. I did last year. They are slightly longer than last year's ones because I think I made those in a short length, and I really want to make a pair with long length next time, so it won't be a remnant that I used. But I'm really pleased that I managed to use all my viscose challis up. There's nothing left. I'll show you a little picture. There's hardly anything there, so you won't be able to find any pattern that would be able to use that tiny bit. So I'm really chuffed. That's gone and been stuffed in my poof with other scraps, so it's not gone to waste, and I'm really happy with them. They're so comfortable and they're really nice and cool in this heat, so bonus. So what came into my sewing room in the last couple of weeks? Well, when I went to Walpole I came away not very empty-handed at all, because there was a lady there whose mother-in-law unfortunately has had to go into a care home, so they had to clear out all her household belongings, and she used to be a seamstress, and she said to the lady at my group, would you be able to pass these on to other people and who can make use of it? And there were so many threads there that we all had a handful, and there was lots of Gutermann threads which I love using. My Bonina absolutely loves my Gutermann threads. It's very fussy, doesn't like any other maker thread. It always has a bit of a hitty fit and they all get knotted. So I thought, right, I'll get some Gutermann thread, and I'll put a picture in because I can't show you them all, but I got lots of green ones because my daughter really loves khaki green at the moment, so I thought that would come in handy for future projects. And I got some purples, of course, because that's my favourite colour if you haven't seen me for long. And just a few other bits and bobs there, so that was really good. And then a lovely lady, Sue, who I sit with, had a lady give her a lot of things, and she had some Bonina feet. Now one of these is something that I never thought I'd get to own because it's not the cheapest thing you can buy, let's just say, but it is a Bonina BSR foot, and these are for when you're doing free motion, and it just regulates the actual stitch length, so when you're going around whizzing around they all stay consistent. So this is a really good thing, and I'm so grateful. I am going to say thank you to the lady, because it's not something that I could justify buying myself, but it comes in the tin and you've got the bag that goes with it, so everything's there, and I'm really fortunate to have got that. But she also had a couple of other Vanina things as well. So this is a circular embroidery attachment. I haven't played with these yet, I need to have a day to play. And then I think this is, it looks like a free motion foot. It looks like a free motion foot, but it says it's a real ruler. And again, I haven't actually played with these yet, so I will let you know how I get on. But I just felt so lucky to get all of those things, and they're very generous there, I have to say. So thank you, everybody. Other than that, I did do the order, and this was when I did the sewing for my colleague at work, and I thought I need to get some more swimwear elastic, and more will be revealed next week why. But I ordered from Little Legs, excuse the rustling, but I managed to get the size that I need to make another Bethany Beach swimsuit. And I also saw this lovely webbing. It's called seatbelt webbing, and it's 2.5 centimetres wide, but it's this lovely rainbow effect measuring tape. And I just thought, wouldn't that be great for another bag for sewing or a caddy? So I really am chuffed with that. I did get contacted by them because I'd asked for 3 meters, and unfortunately they didn't have enough, so they had 0.8, and then I think this was 2.6, so I actually got more than 3 meters, but I don't think that will affect the makes I want to do, so I'm really happy with that. And then the only other thing I've got, now I'm doing a bit of experimentation with what fabrics I use, and as you know I love purple, I think I've mentioned that several times. This is a leatherette, so I got, I think, 1/2 meter, but it's quite wide, and I just think that's gorgeous, and that would look amazing on a bag. That's what I'm hoping to use it for. It is quite stretchy, and it's a lot thinner than the faux leather that I've used before, but I think with something behind it and a lining, I think that should be lovely as a bag. So watch this space for that one too. So that was what came into my sewing room this week. Oh, I forgot the major one, didn't I? Behind me. The eagle-eyed amongst you may have noticed a new machine behind me rather than my normal Vanina, and this is my new overlocker that I've purchased. So I can't believe I nearly forgot to tell you about it. So I talked to my lovely friend Adam from Adam Sews, because I'd looked at all the overlockers on the market, and I thought I did have visions of owning a baby lock one day, but then I looked at the Juki overlockers. So I asked Adam about them because he's an ambassador, and I said, what would you recommend? And he told me all the different features they had and how good they are, and I just thought, do you know what, I'm going to buy myself one. So with his assistance, he gave me contact details for Franklin's, who I bought it from, and it was the one in Salisbury. And George there was absolutely amazing. He was so helpful, and I got it 2 days later. So I asked for him to delay the delivery. I'm getting my tongue tied now, because I was at work and I didn't want to miss the delivery coming. So it arrived and it was like Christmas. I was so excited, and I have done a little filming to show you the unboxing of the Juki, and I do not say that I am a very good person when it comes to unpacking things. I always think I sound really serious, so bear with us, and you can always fast forward it if it's that bad. So I'll see you in a bit. So my new overlocker has arrived, and it comes with an extension table as well, which is a bonus because I've never thought an overlocker could have an extension table, and that will be so much easier when I'm doing garments so they don't get all caught up and possibly end up being sliced in the wrong place. So I've just undone the sticky tape to show you, and I'm going to go through the box with you as well. So first of all, you get a little inspection certificate, and you've got all your warranty and instructions all in that plastic there. And then we've got all sorts of things here. We'll find out what this is in a minute, but you've also got one of these, and if it's what I think it is, it's a starter foot, I believe, like my Bonina. But again, we'll find out once I've looked at the instructions, which would probably help. And you've got your reel holders here, so that first part is for that, I would say. So they go together somehow. And then you've got your power supply and pedal. And in here, oh, there's all sorts of goodies in there, so I'll go through them. I think you've even got a plastic cover, and you've got lots of real spool holders and some needles and some feet, which I can't wait to try out. And you've got your waste collector box as well, so that's a nice size one. I will mute this bit because I don't want to make too much noise, but I'll show you me unboxing. So here is the overlocker. I can't wait to try this. It's all got cushion padding to stop everything rattling around when it's been sent. And there's lots of little tapes and things on it, so I'll get it out of the box and we can have a look. This is going to take a little bit of getting used to, I think, but not much. From what I gather, the instructions are really clear and helpful. It's just going to be totally different after having the necky overlocker from Aldi, so this will do a lot more. So what I'm going to do is get all this tape off and read the instructions, and then show you how easy it is to thread. So this overlocker comes with quite a few accessories. You get oil, which I've never had to do for an overlocker, so I'm really chuffed with that. You get the little nets for your spools. You get 4 spool caps as well. You get a looper threader, just in case things get stuck. And then it comes with extra feet. You've got this one, which is a tractor foot, and I believe, before I even read the instructions, haha, and I think this is for bulky seams, so that's a real bonus on my overlocker. And then you've also got a curve foot, so you can go round the curves on circles and things, especially when doing face wipes, things like that. And you get a T-shaped screwdriver. That's quite a nice big heavy duty one. Some needles, universal Schmetz ones. And then inside the actual machine, you push and open the door. That's standard for most overlockers, but you've got a lovely brush, a proper that's for the nuts on the needle clamps, and some tweezers. So you get quite a good lot of accessories with this one, and obviously the plastic cover I showed you a little while ago, and the thread catch or scraps bin. So that is really good. So I'm now going to have a look whether I need to take this padding off before I do. And one note, if you do buy this, when you're doing the tape, there's actually some tape right round the back with some silica gel, so make sure you remove that one as well. You also get a large-eyed needle, which is to use to thread all your overlocker threads into the sewing you've done. So that's a really nice little feature to have as well. The first handy thing I've just found is on top of this machine. It's got a magnetic needle tray. Look at this. That's a clever little accessory, and I guess you can put your pins on there as well, which is really handy when you're taking them off the machine as you go along. So I like that feature. I'm loving this machine already, and I haven't even sewn with it yet. There's also another magnetic needle tray this side as well, so you've got two. So it's great if you're right or left-handed, because it takes into consideration which way you'd pick them up and put them. I really like that feature. I had to go on the Juki website just to get my head around the threading. It's me, not the instructions, but I've managed to get it threaded. To show you how to thread it would be quite complicated with one camera. So I'm going to have a little play with this, and then next time I will show you how I threaded it. But I really like this. It's already a lot quieter than what I had, and when you actually have your fabric cut here, it slides down nicely into the collection tray. My last one didn't do that, so I am absolutely loving this already. So I think I'm going to have a bit of play now, and then I can show you my garments I've made this week with it. Bye for now. So I've had a lot of time to play with it since, and all I can say is I have no regrets of buying this overlocker. I am so pleased with it. It goes through things like butter. As you all know, if you've been watching me for a while, I had a necky overlocker, and it was from Lidl's originally, so I think it probably was about £130 when I bought it. So I absolutely enjoyed using that overlocker. It kept me going for quite a few years, but I did notice near the end that I kept having to replace the blade quite frequently, and it did keep coming unthreaded quite a lot. And that was easy to thread, so it wasn't a bad thing, because I have had an overlocker years ago that I kept saying I was going to divorce because it was a nightmare to thread. So it was lovely to thread, but when the pin threw back in it and it just went clonk, I knew that it would probably cost me nearly as much to repair it as the actual machine cost me. So that's why I decided to buy a new one. And I have to say, I have noticed the difference in the first few times I've used it, and I'm absolutely in love with it. It's an air threader, which I never thought I'd get to own. It makes it look so easy. You press a button and whiz, it goes through. It's classed as an industrial overlocker as well, this model, so it makes sewing through everything a breeze. I just absolutely love it. So I've been really enjoying sewing up everything, and I must admit I feel more confident with it because I've got the extension table on it as well. I don't feel like it will, you know, when sometimes you go along and you're sewing and it decides to bite your fabric and you have a lovely hole in your fabric where you don't want to have a hole. I don't think it's going to be like that anymore, because I can spread it out, and I'm actually having to stand up to use it because it's so big, which is not a problem. I'm having to have it on a separate table to my sewing machine, but it makes sense because it means I'm not sitting down as long, and I can stand up and I've got a good view of where my fabric is, so I know I shouldn't have anything get bitten anymore. So I'm really chuffed with it, and I'm going to have a little play with that one too, because I got different feet with it, as I explained in my video, so I will show you them another time. I also managed to sell my old overlocker for spares, so that got sent to the lady today, and hopefully that will help her repair her machine. So at least it didn't just get wasted, and I feel like I've now made some more money, so of course I can justify buying something else. So what are my plans this week? Well, yes, I'm getting a bit excited now, so I apologise if I get overexcited, but I'm actually going on holiday and travelling to the airport tomorrow, and we're travelling out to Florida on Wednesday morning. So I have been a bit out of sorts this week. Since I did my So Fruity makes, I kept getting fabric out, and this is one of them. And this is a lovely viscose with giraffes on, which are my favourite as well. I bought quite a while ago, and I said I was going to make it into some sort of pyjamas, but I kept getting this out this week and thinking, right, I'm going to make something else for my holiday. So I had the Hailey shirt from, I can't remember the name of the actual pattern company. I'll put it here. I think it's got space in it. I'll put it on there anyway. And then I decided I was going to make a set of pyjama shorts to wear, and that was going to be the Tilly and the Buttons Fifi pyjamas. And I just kept going to do it and then didn't, and sitting back and thinking, am I really going to enjoy making those, or do I want to wait, be a bit more patient and think about it more? and decide what to make with it. And that's what I've done, because I sort of thought, I do love the idea of doing the pyjamas, but I actually love this fabric and I'd like to wear it and show it off everywhere, so I can't really go out in my pyjama shorts, can I? So I'm going to leave that till I get back from my holiday now, because I'm going away a lot earlier than normal, so it's still going to be summer when I get back and I'll still have time to make things. So that was one thing I did. And then another thing I thought about was the Nerida Hanson cotton poplin I've got from a Beyond the Pink Door subscription box. And I've decided that I bought some patterns when I went to Florida last year in the sale, and I'm going to do a little sew along when I get back for the McCalls M7120 in that fabric. And I'm going to do the view you can see in the large picture, which is view D. It's got a lovely belt, and I'm going to show you a little mock-up that I did. A Stash Up now has the magic mock-up on the app, so I've been having a little play with that as well. So you'll see what it's going to look like, and I think that would be a nice one, because I did say that I wanted to do some sew-alongs for beginners, and even if it makes a difference to 1 or 2 people where they feel confident making it, that will make me smile, because my new look M6650 sew along has had so many views, and I've had a few comments from people saying how confident it made them they could do it, and that's all we do it for, to help each other. So I will be doing that when I get back too. So while I'm on holiday, my husband is so amazing, because he is going to drive us to Miami, because Joann's is now closed. Obviously I've lost one of my main fabric purchasing shops out there, so he's going to drive us to Miami so I can go to Mood Fabrics, and I'm going to try and film some of that and film some other sewing adventures. I'm also hoping to see Diane while I'm out there, and she's going to take me to her local fabric shop, so that will be nice. And I will be releasing my So Fruity vlog next Tuesday. So obviously I'm going to be doing a bit of past Mandy filming, because I can't film while I'm in Florida. So I'll be filming that later today, and then you'll see that next Tuesday and see what I actually made, because the reveal date's the 30th of June. So I think next Tuesday's the 1st of July, so I can talk to you about my makes then. So I hope you all have a lovely week, and if you can make some time to sew, make it so. Bye for now.